Yeah, so you're super excited today. Great day to be a Wildcat. It's a great class. I think we always say it's cliche, but they're not only great players, but great people. But they really are. I think if you know anything about Jada, she's a connector. She's got such high energy. Like people want to be around her. So I think there's so many more valuable things than who she is as a player. And then Brea, I've known Brea since she was in eighth grade. Have a great relationship with her family, and her mom went to school here. People don't know that. Like she was born in Tucson. Like that's why I was like, it's meant to be. People don't know she was born in Tucson, so I think it's gonna be really huge for the city, just homegrown. She wasn't raised here. Mom was in the military, but I think that's a special connection. So she's always had like Arizona stuff all over her room because of her mom. And her mom never wanted to be like, go to Arizona, but to keep it here, we always say keep it in the family. So excited about her. And then Montea Do, like extremely skilled. I mean, at her height, she can play the four, the three, the two, the one. I've seen her play every position, and she can shoot the three. She's trying to, I know you guys probably saw on social media, but she's working on her dunking skills. So she wants to dunk by the time she gets here, and I think she can. And she's just springy and super, she's like a facilitator. So she can play she'll probably, play majority, like four in the beginning, just as she learns our system. And I think she can play a lot of positions, but a really good passer. And, I think probably similar to Helena and how she sees the floor and plays with people, and then just a freak athlete. So, and I love her family. So all of these kids, I like love their families. Jada, her mom Jill is amazing. She's someone like you want to recruit too. You're like, hey, come be in the part of the program. And then Chris and Kareem and then Montea's mom, like she is just a beautiful human being. So I just love their families because when you recruit the families and who they have around them is really, really important.
When you read about Jada, everything they talk about how she lifts her teammates up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, verbally, and you kind of see it on social media too when she's talking to people. She wants to bring them in, so what does that say about what she brings? That you think about the NIL money, and
Yeah.
all that. That's a big story around her, but it sounds like she's got.
Yeah, she's a connector. So she is. She just some people just have the personality. They kind of attract people that you can talk to. You feel like you've known forever after a few minutes. That's how she is, and like her family's like that. That's how her mom is. So you can see why she's like that. They're just people that you want to gravitate to. So one thing that really stuck out with me about her is like once kind of all this came into fruition. She was with USA Basketball, and I was going back looking at videos. We were watching some of it live, but some of the time difference we couldn't see all the games. She's hurt and wasn't playing. She is like the first person off the bench. She is like, you would feel like, she's like going, like giving high fives, the first person, like meeting at half court, walking back, super engaged on the bench. And as a coach, you look for those things. And most people don't have that. And she has that. So she's like a natural born leader. And that's who she is. And Coach Bamford from La Jolla Country Day is a tremendous coach, a close friend of mine, someone I've known for many years. She was also Kelsey Plum's coach. And she's had like, history of all these great players. But she would talk about that a lot. So it wasn't the basketball part even. It was just all those things. You don't coach kids like that. And people have that work mentality. Like she is a worker. And she compared a lot of things that Jada does to Plum. And she knows better than anybody. So, I just everything about her I think is just wonderful. And then all the other stuff is secondary. So like social media, yes, she's great at that. But her personality makes that great. Like she just has a personality that you'd want to follow. So, but she's not a kid where that's even important to her. She's just kind of like, she doesn't talk about it. So she's humble and thankful, and it's not how you would think she'd be at all. So I just love her. So I'm excited about this class. This is like the amazing. I'm like, can you guys come now? But Montea she'll be here soon. She'll be here in like a month. So she'll have the gray shirt here. So we're just excited about all of them.
And that connection between Brea and Jada from high school, how important?
I think it's really important because obviously, Jada was going to another school. I wasn't recruiting her, but I would see her all the time. I knew her from years ago a little bit, but Brea and her are just really, really close. And that had me worried because when Brea went on some visits, I was kind of like, okay, she might go to the other school because of her. But they have great chemistry. They are good for each other. They're both really different personalities, and they bring out the best in each other and trust each other. So I think that was probably a factor. but I don't think that was the main factor. But yeah, we had Brea for a while, so I think that just obviously helps.
How do you think that this class complements the four freshmen today?
It does a lot. So the first thing is they're all like pretty close. So if you look at they all know each other from like USA or McDonald's or different competition, all these elite camps that everybody goes to. So they all have friendships. They all know each other. So the visits were great. I think that just being familiar with people, watching them play, having respect for each other, I think helps because they all want to win, and so I think they're just like bring in the best players, and I think what great players do is they attract other good players. So I think just their chemistry, I think game wise, they complement each other. Paris and Jada were like really good friends, so that's just a plus. And I didn't actually know that till later. I had no idea, but I think they're all different. Like, no one is the exact same. And so if you look at Brea, she's different than who we have totally. Brea is one of the few posts that wants to be a post. Everybody else in this generation is really different. Like, if you're a 5, you want to be a 2. If you're a 3, you want to be a 4. Like, it's just like great. Like, our generation was like, I will play wherever you want me to do, probably except for point guards, I couldn't dribble, but I will play wherever you want me to just so I can play. Like, nowadays it's really different because you're thinking about pro and like there's just a lot more factors, so it's just different. But Brea is one of the few in the country that is a 5 that wants to be a 5. She can step out and shoot shots, but she's not trying to go dribble through her legs and shoot 3. She's like, like she'll tell you, I'm not trying to do that. Like I love that about her because she wants to be who she is, and I think, and she's only gonna get better. And she's a beast inside. Like, she is a beast, so she's gonna be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
When I talked to Coach White's about Montana, sounded a lot like Sam.
Yeah.
That kind of player. What does what does she bring to her players that make them good players?
She's a phenomenal coach. So when I'm recruiting a player from her program, I know they're going to be a good player in a lot of different ways. And she is someone who demands a certain standard, which I love. She coaches them hard. She gets the best out of them. She holds them accountable for she's a lot more strict than me. But I mean, I love it. I watch her. I have a tremendous amount of respect, and I love her. She coaches them, holds them accountable for a lot of little things. So you see them in high school getting pulled out really fast. And I think that it brings their game up. And if you can be coached that hard and you're still successful, I think it's like you can be coached in college. I think it's harder when there's some high school coaches that don't do a lot of coaching. It's just more of a friendship. And then we get them and they come here and it's like they've never been coached and they have a very tough time. So it's opposite with her. So I love Sam. I love who she turned out to be. And the same things that me and the coach would talk about, and Karen would be like, we need her to be more aggressive. It's the same stuff. So we were always on the same page as what we thought because she's a good basketball mind and she's a good coach. So Montea, they play defense. They play tenacious defense. They're in your girl. So all the stuff that they do, we do. So I knew the translation would be easy. And she is very similar in the fact that basketball IQ, athleticism, I think she's a little more skilled than Sam was at that age. But and I think Sam turned into a better shooter, but Sam wasn't that when she first got here. So I think Montea, just because she's a little longer, and I think that she can be as good as Sam, and I think she could possibly be better. But Sam was such a smart player. I don't know too many people in the country that can have some of the gifts that Sam had. Like she had an instinct of defense because she wasn't all over. She was just positioning. So I don't know if her basketball IQ can ever be replicated. She's just so smart and understands timing. I mean, how many people in the country could block a jump shot, and not foul? And she did that every game, probably, wouldn't you guys say? So I think Sam was just special in that way. But I think Montea can be very special and was coached well. So.
NAU, they gave ASU kind of a run.
They had they had 3 chances to win.
What do you see in them? What are you expecting?
NAU's a really good team. They are a great 3-point shooting team. They're really good at pushing the ball in transition, 5 out, and pull up for a shot or cross-court pass shot. They do a really good job of special situations and isolating different things. I think they're a good team. I think it's funny. I know Reagan from number 1, their point guard from Seattle. So I knew her when she was little, and because I'm good friends with her AAU coach, so I was watching her growing up at all the tournaments, and Barbara's her AAU coach, who I've known and been friends with for 20 years. So it's funny to watch her because I didn't even realize that was her. I was like, that is her. It's like she's so built and Her body is phenomenal, so they've done a really good job with her. But I think that they're a tough team. And I think they're different because all can shoot it. Like all five can shoot it at sometimes on the court. And so they're a hard team to beat. And I think it's a good challenge for us the first game, especially transition defense. But we're going to face that in the Pac-12 and as we progress. So I'm definitely not taking them lightly. Definitely know we have to play well. If we don't play good, we're going to lose. So I have a lot of respect for them. I think Lori does a good job, and they're a good team.
And can you give us an update on Lauren? I know she had her surgery, and is she okay?
Yeah, she's doing well. So she had surgery. It went well. They were able to repair some. They fixed the problem for sure, and then cleaned up some other stuff, which everybody's knee can clean up some stuff. So that was a positive. And I think that the success of these surgeries with the shifting the patella, it's like a 95% or higher success rate. So before it was opposite, 90% chance she would do it again. So I think just as a player, it's hard to be playing. She was in the best shape of her career. She was so ready, playing at such a high level. That happens, and you're out 6 weeks. She went through that last year. So I think just that's really hard. So I think the decision to get surgery was the right decision, which I supported, because we want her to be at her best. You don't want to be at 50% or 75% worried it's going to happen again, because then you can't play free. And so I think it's obviously a huge blow for us to not have her. I mean, just where I really see the deficit with this team now, not having her, is the communication. She's a phenomenal communicator, and she's a great post defender, and she knows our system. So I see the difference in us not having her. But she'll just come back. She'll come back stronger and be ready. And I think she'll come back even better, because she'll have months to just work on getting stronger and getting healthy. But it's hard. It's hard not having her. But she's doing good. She'll be around, I think, today. Just you have your knee locked, straight, basically. And a position for a week is not easy. But her mom was here. Her mom just left, so we're taking care of her. We brought her some stuff the other day, and she's in good spirits and feeling good. As good as you can a week after surgery. So.
Kate said that she's back full in practice.
Yeah, Kate's full.
You plan on her playing, or do you think you would keep her out?
No, I'll play her because her symptoms were so minimal. I think it's just one of those things, nowadays. When I was playing, we would have played through that. Gosh, I look back, I'm like, this concussion protocol, I would have missed tons of, we would have been out a lot. Like, the stuff, I remember seeing stars running down the court and being like, wow, it's so different now. So now if you have, a little bit of headache, you're in, and it's a good thing for us, or it's a good thing for the student athlete. But, her symptoms were minimal. She didn't have symptoms after, a day or 2 days. And so she's been in practice, and then she was full contact the last 2 days, so she's going to be fine. But someone else might be going in really soon, because it happens a lot. You get hit a lot, then if you have a headache, you're out for days. So
that means that there'll be more opportunities now for certain players
For
to
sure.
get more time
For
because
sure.
Lauren's out. So a player like Maya or Esmeri, who's probably on the court a lot anyway, might see some more minutes, right?
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to shift to some things of what we do just because of our depth. That's not what I anticipated. It's funny because last year I was like, wow, we have a lot. We had 7 post players. This year, you have 4, and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. It's a perfect rotation. And then now you have 3 or 2, and then Kate was out. I was like, we have 1 post, 2 posts in practice. So that's always an adjustment, but it is what it is. I think the way we play anyways, 4 out, 1 in, and a lot of times we do 5 out. It just enables us to play faster, press, and then we're going to have sometimes 5 shooters. So I think we have some lineups to have fun and open up the court, but it's going to I think it's going to provide some more opportunity for Lamaya. I think it provides more opportunity for Maddie because of numbers. I think Helena, it's going to make her play 4 positions, basically. But I think those are good players on the floor. So I think for them, it's going to just really help. And a lot of times we're going to have at that 4 position a guard, which, the way we press and the way we play, I think it's going to be an advantage. So it's going to be fun to actually sometimes have 4 or 5 shooters on the floor. I don't think I've ever had that. So I'm excited. It's just different. But now I'm putting some more stuff in. I got to change some sets and add some different sets for that. So it's a part of coaching. But I think it's fun this year because where we are at is nowhere where we need to be. We have a lot of work, but it's fun because now I got to adjust. And so to see how I can adjust us and improve us is, I think, a challenge, but I think it's good.
Pac-12 teams are already seeing some big losses. Goodrich at UCLA, Prince at
Yeah.
Oregon. I mean, what do you think about the conference, what it does to the conference?
Yeah, and it's funny, I didn't realize this till you said it, but yeah, those are three like really good players with a lot of good following and just dominant players. I think for Oregon that's a loss. Whenever you lose a 6-7 post player, I think it's hard. But I don't think she's been healthy for a while. And then for us, Lauren, potential starter, that's a big blow. And I think UCLA Dugovic, she's good. I'm glad we don't play against her, but no, I'm just it's unfortunate because you want the best players playing, and she was a beast. So I think we're going to see more of it. Probably, I think that's just basketball. I think you'll see it across every conference. I don't know. I want our conference to be great. I think our conference is going to be a lot better than it was last year. I think we were down last year with all the injuries that UCLA had and just a lot of injuries from, Oregon State and stuff. I think that everybody got better, and I think some teams will surprise, but I think our conference will be one of the best again. I think we'll definitely jump up. I think UCLA is still really good. Kiki Rice is phenomenal. Great point guard that's going to make them better, and she's also going to help them recruit a lot of good players. I think Oregon State's a lot better. I think Oregon's a really good team. I think Stanford's just one of the best in the country, which we have to face and prepare for. I think that helps us long term for March. I think Utah is a team that a lot of people really aren't talking about. I think they're going to be very good, and offensively, they have a lot of scoring power. I think USC got better. I think everybody got better, and so I think our conference is going to be where it was 2 years ago. I don't think it's going to be where it was last year. So. And we saw last night a big upset already. Saw Tennessee, Ohio State. I think this time of year, there's a lot. We played Louisville, remember the first game last year. So you're always scared as a coach. You're like, okay, playing some the first game, I'll play them later. But I guess it's a first for both teams. But those are tough first games. And we're going to have a tough one tomorrow.
Should we expect to see the same starters that we saw in the 2 exhibition games, or are you going to switch it up a little bit?
Possibly. There could be a chance to switch it up because just who we play, and they're playing small a lot. But I'm not really so many people are really stuck on the starters. I think it doesn't really matter who starts; it matters who finishes the game. I think that's the telling part. I know for players it's really important, but probably. But we also need to early in the season play with different lineups and see how we adjust, because there's going to be some games we maybe need to go bigger. Some games where we have to go smaller when they play 5 guards or 4 guards, especially in a non-conference. So I'm not sure yet, 100%, but I don't know. I'm looking at different things in practice a lot. We shall see. Cool. All right. Thanks, you guys.